Welcome back. A few weeks ago, I had become really discouraged with how long some of my paintings have been taking me. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 things that I did last week that really helped me complete one of my paintings. And I also think that I could use this with my other goals as well. So right now, I had 4 paintings in progress. I wasn't going to accomplish the goal of 7 that I had set out for myself by the end of quarter 1. At this rate, I was going to complete only 1. I really needed to change something. I remember waking up super discouraged one morning, and I looked back at the calendar that I keep track of what I did day to day. And it wasn't for a lack of motivation or creative energy or my work ethic. I was just doing the things that I emotionally wanted to do that day. Some days I have little control. Some days I do have some doctor's appointments or physical therapy appointments that I need to schedule in. But in the reality of things, I could have done a lot better job of managing my time. So what I did next had significantly changed how my last week had turned out. Number 1, setting a short-term goal. Last week I'd set out the goal of finishing a painting I'd been working on right here, Bobby Portis. I started working on this painting December 12th, and I had worked on it on and off until February 8th, and in between there sometime, I had taken an entire month off from working on this painting. On the week of the 19th, I had decided I need to finish this painting. Number 2, post your goal somewhere prominent. I posted my goal on my whiteboard. It's above my computer, and it was just so I can remind myself, not just at the beginning of the day, but throughout the day, that I had a goal to accomplish. I've also done this with Post-its, and I've done this either in the bathroom or in the kitchen. I just put the Post-it note up somewhere prominent where I know I'm going to be at that location several times throughout the day. Another thing that has also worked for me in the past is I would set a reminder in my phone that would go off during points in the day where I knew my energy would probably start to fade, like closer to lunchtime and sometimes right after lunchtime, and sometimes if I had planned on working in that evening, I would put a reminder in for the evening. Number 3, schedule out each hour of your day. I like to use an app. It doesn't matter what kind of app it is. I just chose an app that my wife and I were not using. If I had forgotten to change the privacy settings, that I wouldn't spam her with a bunch of things in my calendar. I scheduled out each hour of the day, and if I knew my wife had an obligation that night, I would also schedule out those hours. I would see that my week would fill up pretty quickly with appointments and travel time to and from those appointments, and my at-home physical therapy. I would have to schedule just around those things. I also put in periods of rest that my body needs, and on all the other available hours throughout the day, I would put in time to work on that goal. So number 4 is the end of week audit. Did I achieve my goal? I got close. I got to the point where I can start doing finishing work on the painting. I didn't have the isolation layer that I wanted to put down on the painting before the varnish on hand, and that was something that I had to pick up over the weekend. Throughout this, I realized that setting these really short-term goals for the week really does help me focus. It also really pushed me outside my comfort zone because I had to get through those emotional blocks. I also became more critical on how slowly I was working. I was also realizing that when I had a setback, I needed to push through that setback and to get the painting done. And in the past, what I typically had done is I'd step away from it and I'd set it aside and I'd work on it when I felt emotionally ready to work on it. So when it comes down to it, setting a goal just sometimes isn't good enough. Really shortening the time frame helped me a lot. It also made me realize when I was spending time scrolling through my phone on Instagram or watching another silly YouTube video that I could have been working on this painting. So I encourage you to take a moment for yourself, look at your goals, and see if there's one that you could achieve through the next 7 days. Just really shorten down that time frame and dedicate some time to your goal and see if you can accomplish it. When I did this, I was so excited that I got to the point that I did. And I think that you can really surprise yourself and find that same excitement that I did. That's all I have for you today. I hope you have a really great week. And if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next week. Thanks.